yesterday we were busy with question 2. We did we do the liquidity? So we did the liquidity, and I said to you guys, or was it the other class?
Other class, I think.
Okay, so if I look at 2.2, the 2 paragraph, it's about the debtors collection and the creditors payment, right? So I think that when you answer the question, they would want you to continue in the vein of the debtors and creditors, because unless they gave me other liquidity ratios. So they didn't give me other liquidity ratios. You agree with me? So the only thing you have to work on is the debtors and creditors. So I would literally say the cash flow problem is because we pay our creditors before our debtors pay us, so we are using the money that we should use for operating expenses, which is not good for our cash flow. Okay. 3.1, calculate the debt equity ratio. So when I calculate the debt equity ratio, it's literally debt to equity. They tell you debt equity. Can you see? They gave you the ratio. So the debt is your loan and your equity. So what is the loan? The loan is my non-current liability. What's wrong?
2.3, like, I don't understand.
Must I write it for you? Okay. So when I give advice, I will say the business, or let's rather say, because the business pay creditors before debtors pay them, they are using cash that should be used for daily expenses. Not good for cash flow. My advice is then now obviously my advice is going to be don't pay creditors before debtors pay us. Have stricter control over debtors. They take too long to pay. Does this make sense? Okay. Because remember, they took like 47 or 45 days to pay, which is 15 days longer than our terms. So the problem is we need to, so obviously what happens here is we want to pay our creditors within the terms we have with our creditors to keep a good relationship. So the problem is not that we pay our creditors in 42 days, it's that 42 days is before the debtors pay us. But the debtors isn't supposed to take that long to pay us. So what is the real problem? That we are not strict enough. You see. Are you also so lazy to write? The moment you have to write everything, writing figures is not as strenuous as writing words. Eh?
In the exam, if you write mean for and stuff like this, you still make it right.
Yes,
Before.
I will, yeah, definitely. But in your final end exam, rather write before out. Because it depends on the marker. Some markers are more stricter than others. Okay, so next one. Next one, they say calculate the debt equity ratio. So they literally tell you debt to equity. And I know debt is my loan, equity is my 4 C's. Right. So if I go look, I don't know why my screen keeps flashing. You guys can see there, ne?
I think it's the keyboard.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll unplug and plug again. So if I look here, you use the current year, ne? So the long-term loan, how do they give it to me? They give it to me like non-current liability. It's 500,000. 2. Now I want the capital of both, John and Jeanette, for this year. So it's 220 plus 280. And the current for John and Jeanette is 189,500 and 170. Can you see, if it was a negative current, you would have subtracted it, ne? Okay. So it's actually all very straightforward, logical. So it's 500,000 to, what is my equity?
859,500.
Okay, now I know. And you guys, you can't say 1 to something. Then it's wrong. It has to be something to 1. So 1 is always on your right side. So you just put your right hand down and you know this is where the 1 goes. And remember, we read from left to right. So we will say 500,000 divided 859 gives me this answer. So actually, if you think about it, I'm just going to write it small here at this side. If it says 500,000 to 859, 500, it means I divide this side and that side by the right side, so that we have the correct side. Oh my goodness, only one getting that one. Okay, but can you see this is actually how it looks like? This is why this is 1, but this is going to be 0.58. Okay, and they asked me next, explain whether Mona would be said, oh, I'm at the wrong one. Comment on the debt equity ratio. And you say, they say, explain whether it is satisfactory. Now, whenever they give you a sentence like that, you have to say a yes or a no.
No.
So you're going to say, no, not satisfactory. Why?
Because they are high queued.
The business is, can you see it's more than 0.5? So it's high geared, high risk. So a bank would think more than twice to give them a loan. That's what it means.
But
Yes.
the figure for the ratio is wrong.
Okay, what should it be?
It's supposed to be like based on how the calculator works. The this side, the right side is supposed to be 688,950. Oh.
I do not understand what you are saying. If I say 500 divided 859, do I get 0.58?
It's not supposed to be 859.
Oh, wait.
What must it be 859?
You see, this is
Add this.
500, not 50. You typed it wrong in your
You
calculator.
add that, baby. So I'm asking you, if you add that, do you get 859?
You added 50 to add 0.
What do you get?
With a 50, you wrote, it's supposed to be 500.
Okay, but does it add up 859? Okay, are we fine then? Thank you, my baby, for checking me. I appreciate. Should Jeanette be happy with her return? Now, remember your return, you're going to compare with other investments. So let's quickly look, Jeanette. If they gave me last year's return, I would have said it increased or decreased, right? But they don't. So now you just say, Jeanette's return of 71% is much higher than returns on other investments. If they gave me the interest on fixed deposit, I would have compared it to the interest on fixed deposit on other investments. She should be happy or satisfied. Happy is just a shorter word. Okay.